into multiple businesses today. A beauty shop, a supermarket, a cell phone store. All of them were empty with no customers at all. We also haven't seen any law enforcement out here today.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials are telling us today they arrested 118 people yesterday during a targeted operation in the Colony Ridge development.
118 arrested in a Colony Ridge operation by ICE. Also, a woman placed in ICE custody after she scams her boyfriend for $850,000 in Trump coin. Let's check it out.
It's empty.
The streets are silent, businesses deserted, tables and chairs vacant. Socorro Cuevas hasn't had a customer all morning. Her employees didn't show up either.
Si ellos no vienen, pues no vendo nada.
They don't come, I don't sell anything. No money, no business. This is my livelihood. If this continues,
You got Mexican Coke?
I will have to sell it because I am scared. Cuevas Taqueria has been here in Colony Ridge for 2 years. Yesterday was Socorro's day off. Ordinary until she got a call from her husband. Federal and state agents were everywhere. She said at the time,
Y le dije yo, pues cierra el camión.
I told him to shut down the truck and lock himself in. ICE reports the arrest of a man they call an MS-13 gang member who had been previously deported. According to ICE, 118 people have been arrested, but the agency hasn't answered our questions about whether those arrested were in the country illegally or how they were targeted. Without providing evidence, the agency posted on social media that the area is known for cartel activity and a population that is here illegally.
Porque me da miedo.
I'm scared and afraid. People across the country have criticized what they call a poor response to illegal immigration here in Colony Ridge for years. But without more information, it's hard to tell what this operation has accomplished. But today, one impact is clear: fear in these quiet streets and businesses.
Si yo vivo de esto y no hay nada, no puedo estar aquí nada más.
This is how I make my money. But if there's no money, I can't support myself. We have reached out to both state and federal officials to try to find out more about this operation. Is it over at this point, and are there more planned like it? We've not received any responses to our questions. Pucha Lodia, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Well, Pucha, whatever your last name is, ICE is not going to give up their information on their operations. So stop with the nonsense. The lady telling her husband to shut the door and lock himself in. What are you running from? If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't be locking yourself in a trailer. So I'm sorry, you started a business, great job, but you're not. If you're not in the country illegally, then Tom Holm is coming for you. But back to this newscast saying without evidence, they say there's criminal activity, illegal activity. I'll give you evidence right now. How about a 344-pound meth bust with 3 guys in the country illegally? How much more evidence do you need that there's illegal and criminal activity
County
going
Sheriff's
on in
Office
Colony
is
Ridge?
celebrating a massive drug bust today. It started as a traffic stop that led to the discovery of more than 300 pounds of meth hidden in a trailer. Maria Aguilera has the details from the newsroom now. Maria, the circumstances behind the discovery are pretty surprising.
Yeah, Mia. Well, according to the Liberty County Sheriff, Bobby Rader, it all happened during a traffic stop yesterday in which one of the passengers simply volunteered information about having a large amount of meth and told deputies exactly where to find them. Now, let's give you a closer look at where, according to the sheriff's Facebook post from today, yesterday's traffic stop took place in Plum Grove. The passenger told investigators the drugs were hidden in a camper on Road 3542. Now, here's a photo of what deputies found. dozens of bags containing a total of 344 pounds of meth hidden inside boxes labeled as iceberg lettuce. Sheriff Rader says there were 3 men in the van, and all 3 allegedly in the country undocumented. Deputies say the driver, Gerson Lopez Zuniga, had a gun in his waistband. The passenger who reportedly confessed about the drugs, Cruz Isidro Sandoval, is facing drug charges, while Zuniga and the other passenger, identified as Adan Aguirre Arzate, are in jail on ICE hold. Now, we couldn't help but be surprised Sandoval would just tell deputies about the drugs. When you look at the street value of meth, those 344 pounds are worth about $500,000. Liberty County says this was a joint effort with HPD, the DEA.
118 is a success. I know a lot of people are complaining, 75,000 illegals, in Colony Ridge, only 118. Look, give it time. That's 118 people. Likely a lot of them are violent, heinous criminals. That's 118 people less in the country that are wreaking havoc on our communities. So these people in the news are so full of it. They have a bias, like I've said before, without evidence. They say things like without evidence, and they don't know what this accomplished. It accomplished keeping the community safe is what it did. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that right there.
At this time last year, Terminal 2 of the San Diego International Airport was filled with asylum seekers. They'd be there for hours, sometimes days, sleeping on these floors while waiting to fly to their sponsor family. Using the CBP One app, they could get through TSA without a government-issued ID. Everything I just described is no longer the case. This part of the airport is empty. The Trump administration not only cracking down on undocumented immigrants coming into the U.S., but also traveling domestically without a valid ID. On Monday, TSA posted to X announcing it will no longer allow undocumented immigrants to use the CBP One app to board domestic flights. The one exception is when they're traveling for self-deportation.
If you want to board a flight, it's going to be to get out of the U.S. It's not to move around freely. So they want to make the lives of undocumented immigrants more complicated. Obviously, that's just what it is. It's another hurdle.
It's just going to cause a lot of heartache and hardship for asylum seekers.
Immigrant defenders lost.
Okay, that last guy is making life more difficult for illegal aliens. I mean, how difficult can it be to get a one-way ticket and get the hell out of here? It's not that difficult. But one thing I have to say about this is good. That app let in about 900,000 people within a certain time frame, and that was just a loophole to get people to come to the country. Tons and tons of people came in because of that CBP One app, so now it's been reversed. The app is only used to get the hell out of here, and that's it. That's all I have to say about that one.
Center was one of many organizations that used to help undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers fly out of San Diego. Now, attorney Margaret Cargioli says those people will have to drive.
This is going to really put a burden on border cities that will now have to figure out alternate ways to be able to help people transit to their destination cities.
To keep track of government changes, I've had the CBP One app on my phone. When I checked it on Tuesday, it required an update and is now called CBP Go. The app has completely changed and has 0 features meant to support undocumented communities. The Trump administration has not clarified if there is a different way for people to fly domestically without a valid ID. We've reached out to TSA to ask about this, but have not heard back yet. Perla Shaheen, ABC 10 News.
Now I want to talk about a woman who has been placed into ICE custody for scamming her boneheaded boyfriend for $850,000 in Trump coin. Let's jump into that.
Miami-Dade with how she was eventually caught and cuffed. Jessica.
Also today, we're hearing from the man who says he was ripped off by a woman he loved. He says he's sharing his story to warn others about this type of crime.
Can you do me a favor?
A 22-year-old woman escorted from a downtown Miami hotel accused of ripping off her ex to the tune of $850,000.
I had great intentions with her. I loved her with all my heart. I treated her the best that I could.
Michael Anthony Bravo is a guy who hit it big in the crypto market. He also thought that finding Jabali last June was a win in the love department.
I always, spoiled her with great dinners, whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted to go shopping, I provided for her. I have to pay her bills.
But this relationship would head south a couple of weeks ago. He fell asleep on his yacht and woke up to find she was gone, along with his American Express credit card and $850,000 in cryptocurrency.
As soon as she transferred the Trump coin from my wallet into her wallet, she left within 7 minutes.
I think this was a plan from day one, that she targeted my client, that she's much more sophisticated than he gave her credit for. And for someone 22 years old to have set all this up, this can't be her first rodeo either.
Private investigator David Bolton was hired to track her down and found her in a downtown Miami hotel on Valentine's Day, where Miami police confronted her. Investigators say she told them, "That loser is my ex-boyfriend. He lets me use his credit card." Police say she also booked an Airbnb with his card, with a charge of more than $4,200. She was arrested for grand theft and credit card fraud. But the problems for Bravo didn't end there. After appearing in court, the Tunisian native was handed over to immigration officials. The problem is she has the key to a crypto wallet that holds Bravo's money.
And that's kind of put us in the bind that we are with immigration at this point. And certainly we don't want her to be deported until she goes before a judge and before our client is made whole.
And he says they are working with Congressman Carlos Jimenez and the state attorney's office to try and keep her here until they can get Bravo's money back. We're live in Southwest Miami-Dade. Jessica Hawley, 7 News.
Do I have a lot to say about that right there? For one, that man is a simp. I hate to say this, but you deserve everything that happened to you. I mean, she is a terrible woman for one. But she's very attractive. She uses her looks to lure men in. And that's exactly what she did. Look, she's not my type, but a lot of men would find her attractive. Obviously, she lured this guy in. And a loser is right. He is a loser because she ran up his credit card. Why would he give her access to his crypto wallet? For one, this is not your wife. Look, if this is your wife and she takes care of the house and everything, you're the breadwinner, you make the money, that's totally fine. But you don't know this woman for anything. This guy has a yacht, all this. And you don't have to simp and act like this if you have all this money. You don't give people access to all this stuff. If you're a multi-millionaire, as a guy like this guy is, you just let him smell the money and you get laid. You don't need to let someone have access to your crypto wallet, run up your credit card bill. And I like how the news piece showed her packing, like a woman walking with the suitcase when they said that she left. But she was gone within 7 minutes. So she had an agenda from the start. And now there is an issue. One, she's in the country illegally. And two, she is scamming people. And she found the right sucker. So, look, man, I hope you get your money back. But let this be a lesson learned to you. Don't simp over these women, because they will rip you to shreds. You seem like a nice guy. You obviously have done very well for yourself. You hit it big. You found you a nice little trophy or whatever you want to call her. Not my type. I don't care about this, but let this be a lesson learned to all of you men out there thinking about falling in love like this, because you can get scammed. So be careful who you let in really closely. Don't give access to your crypto wallet to a woman you met, wherever he met her. But I'm glad she was caught. So you can't do people like that, but she is very savvy. She knew what she was doing. Like I said, she found a sucker. She found a simp, and calling him a loser is not wrong, because what kind of real man allows for this to happen? You let this woman trample all over you, and now you're scrambling to get $850,000 in Trump coin back. So I don't think Trump would be very happy about this story if you heard it. So tough luck, man. Just learn your lesson. Don't do that stupid stuff again. But that's all I have to say about that. Hope you liked the video. Found some great content for you in there to look over, like, and subscribe. And also go to my merch shop, mixtextingstore.com. 20% off your first order using the code MIXEDTEXT. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.